In the Disney Plus series, we've recently seen the arrival of a weapon that might end up being one of Moon Knight's most iconic from the comics. Which weapon are we referring to? And what other powerful weapons has Moon Knight wielded before? Stick around and find out. I'm your host Amanda McKnight, this is Top 10 Nerd, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 most powerful Moon Knight weapons. Let's jump into it. Number 10, the Golden Ankhs, or the Golden Ankh. It's kind of just one Ankh, really. The Ankh that Mark first used shows up in The Fist of Khonshu, his second series from 1985, which ended up being a 6-issue miniseries. Here Mark Spector is attempting to settle down using the money of his millionaire Stephen Grant persona, finally seeming to find happiness with his love Marlene, when he is called back into action by Khonshu. Mark follows the call and is led to a tomb which holds within it priests of Khonshu and gifts, weapons, that he might use to outfit himself once more. One of these weapons is the Ankh, which is described as the Golden Ankh, a sign of eternal life that will glow whenever Mark is near or in mortal danger in order to warn him. The item has also been used as a bludgeon by Mark and is expected to be fairly weighty, especially because it seems to be made of solid gold, so that'd be pretty heavy. Number 9. Crescent Moons. These are some of the most iconic weapons that Moon Knight wields in modern day. We also see him use them in the Disney Plus series where they are part of his suit. A pretty cool feature. I love when weapons are like part of the suit, like with Bloodsport and his costume design in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Oh, so awesome. Moon Knight for his part has crescent moon shaped darts, which he uses like ninja stars or shurikens, throwing them and dealing stabby damage when he hits something. Ouch. He also has used them before like little kind of daggers, even going so far in the 2006 series to carve off his nemesis Raoul Bushman's face. Ugh. This was also around the time when it was suggested in the comics that Moon Knight had perhaps been marking his victims with little crescent moons by carving them into people's foreheads with his crescent moon darts. And friends, before I move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want to do other things to like support this channel and support us fantastic folks that do all the work here, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes, be sure to head on over to our Facebook and click that like, because yeah, that really does help us out, and thank you for doing that. Number 8. Truncheon. This is the weapon that is super iconic and that I honestly expect to see show up somewhere in the show. I mean, I think it kind of already has shown up actually, just in pieces. Mr. Knight, he gets like the 2 golden sticks and I'm like, that's boop, just connect that and that's a truncheon, my friends. In the comics, the truncheon can be broken down into 2 pieces, but it's generally connected by a chain. It can be used as a bow staff or even a grappling hook as well. It's basically a blunt force weapon that became iconic due to it being Moon Knight's preferred weapon for quite a while. One he always had on him and always used. The truncheon can be used as a projectile as well for a ranged attack, or it can be held onto and used for a melee attack instead. You can also kind of use it like nunchucks, so it's a lot of uses for the truncheon. Truncheon is just cool and it's versatile, which I like. Number 7. Suit. In the Disney Plus series, it almost seems that Moon Knight's moon-based boosted abilities and powers are tied to his suit form. He can summon the suit in the show to increase his durability and possibly his strength and speed. At least Mark can as Moon Knight. Steven in his Mr. Knight form looks like he still seems to be struggling a bit, figuring it out. Even in the comics, Moon Knight's suit has been seen as a weapon before, and definitely as armor. At one point it was made with Kevlar before being made with the ultra rare adamantium, probably at a time when everybody had adamantium in the comics, even though it's super rare, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And previous to his time with the West Coast Avengers, he even had a version of the suit made with carbonadium, which Mark believed was more flexible, but just as durable as adamantium. Mark's suit has also been known to have various different gadgets as well as comms built into it. Number 6. Helicopter. Moon Knight has also been known to come with his own helicopter as well, and sometimes someone else's helicopter. Back in the day, he had comms built into his suit that allowed him to call on his friend Frenchie, aka Jean-Paul Duchamp, who would often answer the call by showing up in a helicopter to aid Moon Knight. Moon Knight also has a giant mooncopter all his own that can also act as a weapon when Moon Knight does wild stuff like crashing into buildings so that he can hit and terrify enemies with it, like he did with Taskmaster in issue number 5 of the 2006 Moon Knight series. He's literally like, I see you and I'm just gonna crash through this building. It also of course looks kinda like a crescent moon because this is Moon Knight we're talking about, and everything has to be a moon with Moon Knight. Has to be a Moon Knight, or it has to be some like cool Egyptian thing. Number 5. Scarab Drones. You might know about the Golden Scarab from the Disney Plus Moon Knight series, which Amit and Khonshu are fighting over, and which kinda resembles the Moon Knight Scarab darts, which were once a thing back in the 80s when it came to Moon Knight's gear. But did you know about the Scarab Drones? They are completely separate from the Golden Scarab everyone is fighting over in the show. Instead, the Scarab Drones were used by Mr. Knight in the Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey Moon Knight series. Here, they serve a few different purposes, being used to hunt down and literally crush enemies, as well as transport the hero around. Both Moon Knight and Mr. Knight use the drones, which appear to have many different types of settings and modes for combat and stealth. Number 4. Crescent Launcher Pistols. As it sounds, these pistols are unique in the sense that they launch crescent darts. The same crescent darts that we've seen Moon Knight use as weapons in their own right, like ninja stars, also known as shurikens. I didn't mention before, but it should also be noted that these crescent moon darts are generally said to be made of adamantium, like Moon Knight's suit has also been in the past. So they pack quite a punch if they hit you, and can cut through a lot of things that a regular shuriken probably wouldn't be able to, especially if they were being fired out of a gun, because that means they're going real fast. However, the pistols that he wields are not usually used to fire darts like razor sharp adamantium bullets, but instead are more of grappling pistols, which allow Moon Knight to stop his enemies in their tracks by tripping them up or pinning them down. So there's darts coming out, but it's not really about like firing them through people or anything like that. For the most part, Moon Knight tries to not kill people, though he does really mess them up. Number 3. Crescent Dart Launchers. This is actually an upgrade that was implemented to Moon Knight's suit by his friend and ally, Frenchie. Frenchie doesn't seem to appear in the Moon Knight Disney Plus streaming series, but was a longtime friend of Mark's in the comics. At least he hasn't appeared yet, as of episode 2, which is where we're at currently with that series at the time of me recording this video, so he may have shown up by the time this goes up, I don't know. Could have happened. The Crescent Dart Launchers were built into Moon Knight's gauntlets and allowed him to shoot out the darts with a cool chut 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 sound effect, also implying to me in the comics that he was able to fire them with some force and quite fast. So yeah, remember when I was like, he doesn't fire these out of a gun, he does fire them out of gauntlets and they're like chut chut chut, so yikes. Number 2. Mjolnir. That's right, Moon Knight even at one point wielded Mjolnir. No, he didn't get to wield it because he was worthy, but was actually able to use his power as Khonshu's avatar to manipulate the hammer without needing to be worthy, because it was a super moon. So he had super heightened moon-based powers. This was explained in the Age of Khonshu story by the fact that Mark can actually control and manipulate moon rocks, which are part of his jurisdiction as being, a part of the whole moon thing. And Mjolnir is made out of Uru, which it turns out is basically from one of the oldest moons in all existence. So Uru is just really ancient moon rocks. He also didn't just take and use Mjolnir, but used it to severely beat up Thor, which was pretty nuts when you consider just how powerful Thor is. I mean, he's god tier. But Moon Knight proved in that battle that being in league with the Egyptian god Khonshu can make you just as powerful, if not even more powerful, than a Norse god like Thor. As long as you also have, a super moon going on. You do need a lot of moon power for it, I imagine. Number 1. Divine Ankhs. These are the Ankhs we saw Moon Knight use more recently in the Avengers comic Age of Khonshu story arc. They appear to be different from the Ankhs that Mark originally used in the comics, at least that's the way I've seen it. I don't know, some people seem to imply that they're the same ones, but they look different to me. These ones seem to have been made by Khonshu for this specific mission, where Mark uses them to drain the Avengers of their power in order to boost himself so that he can use their power and artifacts / weapons to defeat Mephisto, which is the quest that Khonshu has Moon Knight undertake. They succeed, but it is then revealed that Khonshu now plans on turning Earth into his own Egyptian underworld, now that Mephisto is defeated. And so Moon Knight must team up with the Avengers to defeat Khonshu in a surprising twist. Moon Knight no longer has all the power and weapons of the Avengers, but at one point he did, and it was all thanks to these divine Ankhs of his. Although I suppose if you saw them as being the Golden Ankh or the Golden Ankhs, then you could just say it's because of the supermoon maybe and they gain more abilities, but I don't know, I still think they're separate Ankhs. two sets of onks, if you will. Which Moon Knight weapon is your favorite? Are you a big Moon Knight fan? Are you becoming a big Moon Knight fan? I know a lot of people have been falling in love with the character since the Disney Plus streaming show started, and I must say I respect that. Are you also one of those people? If you are, that's cool. Let us know your thoughts and feels on the character in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight saying thank you so much for watching. Till next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.